When the time comes and GTA 6 is finally being reviewed, pay close attention to people with their feelings versus what's credible when it comes down to like character development, bugs, glitches, short story versus long story, games being dull versus somebody being just having their personal feelings intact. That's what happened with Hogwarts Legacy, and that's why that news outlet gave it a 1 out of 10. So please, that's ridiculous. It's only June 3rd and people are already going crazy and losing their minds. Okay, we got to talk about it. I went on Twitter today. You know, I normally get my cup of coffee and I get my morning started. I get on the internet real quick, check emails, and then I check some notifications on Twitter. If anybody had tagged me, showing me some articles, something I might be interested to talk about or something to talk about with you guys in the Discord, and et cetera, et cetera. And I came across this ridiculous tweet by Polygon, and I forgot they were even around, honestly. I'm not trying to act like that. I genuinely forgot that they were around just simply because I go to certain sources for everything anyway. And this was what they wrote. 8 years later, let's all admit Red Dead Redemption 2 is a terrible game. What the? Huh? In this video, I'm gonna speak more as a viewer than I am as a content creator who has experienced the game and did a walkthrough. Because the unfortunate thing here, and I'm gonna just tell you guys honest, I only spent a very short period of time playing the story mode here, because at the time that this game came out, this was pre-COVID, I was always a multiplayer guy. Yes, I would, of course, indulge in like Last of Us and God of War, of course, and of course, like Halo, many single-player games that I would jump on the multiplayers after. However, I was just at a point where I was like, man, I want to play the online. I want to see what it's cooking for. GTA 5 online was actually really good, so I want to see Red Dead Redemption 2. So I didn't play out the story that early. I got off of it relatively quick. But I, as a viewer, have watched people play this game like 3-4 times, and the outcome is always amazing. And seeing people's reactions to how this story unfolds and everything that happens in the story is incredible. This game, as a viewer, being able to immerse yourself in whoever's stream or YouTube video, you can still get that experience of how good the game is, seeing somebody play it firsthand. There is no issues whatsoever if you didn't play the game. But my chat is telling me, yo, Rick, you better freaking play this game live or do a damn walkthrough when you're done finishing up your backlog. So I said, yo, look, I promise. I might even dress up as an O'Driscoll. I don't know. Whatever the case may be, I'm going to do something. I might have a horse with me. Who fucking knows? But the whole point is these are ridiculous takes. Ridiculous takes. And it gets bad. Look, I start getting passionate. My voice, like, you can hear it. You can hear it. And the reason why it gets bad is because the reason why they said the game is terrible screams TikTok brain rot. Okay? But look, it doesn't end here, because 4 hours later after that original tweet, they proceeded to stand on it and goes, Red Dead Redemption 2 sucks actually. Hashtag spicy take. Gaming and entertainment fans love a good debate this week. So do we. Do you agree with our opinion? Share your spicy take in the comment section or check out the full article. No, nobody's going to agree with this. Now, granted, not saying that nobody's going to have a fair issue with the game. I first-handedly know the time that I've spent on the game. I did say 30 minutes. I definitely spent a few hours on the game. I just didn't beat the game. I experienced clunky controls on the single player and the multiplayer. The single player, multiplayer, people were giving excuses back when the game came out. I believe it was 2018. I think it was 2018, 2019. I think it was 2018 if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong, or 2017. I could be wrong. People were giving the excuse that, oh no, it's realism. This is how they're supposed to move. No. The game, they even patched it. The game was very clunky with the movement. It wasn't that you was walking like a cowboy. There's no way to walk like a cowboy and give weight to a NPC character or a character you control in the game. So yes, people didn't want to admit the game was a little bit clunky with the movements and stuff. Outside of that, they hit the nail on everything. Just Red Dead's world, the vistas, the lifelike in that game, the NPCs, the features, the mechanics in the game, graphically, the animal wildlife in the game. Everything in that game was so spot on. And then on top of that, from what I played of the story, I knew it was going to be a banger. I played the first one. It was a banger. But me even watching it, I knew it was going to be a banger. The only thing I don't watch, but I already knew by now, it's been years, was the ending. But that's okay. I'm still going to play it and have a great experience. I'm going to show you guys why they said this game is terrible, y'all. But before that, I do have to warn you. When GTA 6 comes out, please, for entertainment purposes, we might even react to the review scores. I think many of you out there should also react to it too, because this is the popular thing to do. When people go out to see an early screening of a movie, some people got some like ridiculous takes to be negative, and sometimes it's very warranted. You could tell by somebody's passion or the way they articulate themselves and like the content they're putting out to see like whether or not they're very validated in their response and how they feel. Then you got people who normally just spew out some negativity on something or find anything easily, like it could be a main menu screen, bro, and people would rate a game low. Oh my God, there's so much. So like with GTA 6, and the reason why I put that on the title is because, come on now, y'all. The game is releasing only digital as far as we know. People have an issue and taking issue because of the employee situation with Crunch, with the way they've been treated. And all these delays, the way they're marketing the game is just very lackluster, overwhelming. Come on. You already know a news outlet is ready to rip this shit apart. Meanwhile, they may be extremely inaccurate or incorrect. Let's go ahead and let me read to you this guy's reason, or this person's reason as to why they think this game is terrible. I'm gonna go ahead and just break down everything this person said into bullet points as to why they feel like this game is a terrible game. It's not worth me putting out a link for you guys to read this article. I'm gonna go ahead and just break it down. They've expressed in this article that the realism is at the expense of fun. They felt the game was too hyper realistic and therefore became boring. What? So what do you want them to do that's not realistic, or what other angle would you want them to approach the game? Because GTA 5, you can argue, is somewhat of a sim of a lifestyle of Grand Theft Auto, like the way you live out in the game. It's not that it's realistic. Yeah, you shoot people, you kill people, do everything. You do the same exact thing in Red Dead. But Red Dead involves like so much other components, so much more deeper story. And of course, it's different compared to a modern day game. So you go into the game understanding traveling is much different. You might take longer to get to your missions. And of course, instead of being lazy, they actually give you tons of dialogue between you and whoever you're with doing a mission. So of course, it feels like it's going on and on and on. But Red Dead Redemption 2, you're saying it's too hyper realistic. And as I wrote here, details that forgets it to be entertaining and making it overall a boring experience. They've also basically expressed that the hunting is a little bit too tedious. What?
This is how you can increase your chance of getting the perfect animal in Red Dead Redemption 2. First, come to this location in the big valley near the strawberry to track down a legendary buck. Hunt down the buck and take it to the nearest fence to craft a buck antler trinket to increase your chance of getting the perfect animal.
I was killing animals like crazy and like selling them and to the little butcher areas. That was fun. You know, getting some cash in the game. It's a mechanics like slowly tracking scents and hiding in bushes for minutes at a time are considered unengaging. No, it means you're a doom scroller on your phone before bed, before you go on a date, before you wash your ass in the shower, and you sit here and you can't watch a video for longer than 5 minutes because your brain doesn't comprehend anything, and you must move around before you end up like going crazy inside. You don't have the capabilities of sitting down and just enjoying something because, for one, a mechanic or a feature like hunting is something people were very excited to do in Red Dead Redemption 2. The fact that they expounded upon it and they went in depth with the hunting, you was able to scent out animals or creatures, whoever the case, and then carve them, carve them, basically, take their fur, the meat, sell them to somebody in the town. That was amazing. Like, that's something people wanted to do, have other things to do other than the main story. Like, what are we talking about? We can't make this up. And I'm wondering if they're trolling. Time consumption while looting. Physically searching through every individual drawer rather than using simple AI inventory screens take way too long. Listen, take your ass back to Escape from Tarkov or Ark Raiders, because then this ain't the game for you. We complain so much about games not being as innovative, intuitive, not favoring the experience of people who love single player games. Why would you give a feature mechanic that is so simplistic in a game where there's so much to do? It would involve some extra handling, right? Like if you get into a main menu screen, to craft items, to change outfits, or to do anything like search for loot in drawers. It gives that immersiveness. It gives the ability for the player to explore. If you have a problem with that, you don't have to actually explore. You could do cheats if you want or something, or just pertain to the mission or whatever. But to actually complain about how Rockstar went about their mechanic of looting, which is almost in every video game that you play, that like a single player game, Evil Within, or any other third person game, you are always searching for clues. I'm so like lost for words. The one that I do agree with was when they voiced or wrote the clunky controls. Very controversial topic here because people was arguing to the death, sending death threats when this happened. Yes, they did, to like news outlets and other people on Twitter at the time, because nobody wanted to actually like debate on whether or not the game was supposed to be designed this way, or was the controls actually clunky in itself. It wasn't like it was glitchy, it was just very clunky, and Rockstar patched it because it was clunky. It did not feel right playing that game sometimes, because even riding a horse, like my horse got ran over by a train because the way your horses would move with you moving your analog stick, it was clunky. I'm not going to complain about that. It was very clunky. I love the exploration. I love actually going through the world. And I know for me, certain games, I don't have the attention span for it. I'm like, man, this is dragging too long, because I normally give it a couple of hours to see whether or not where we at. Same thing with movies. Some movies are slow burns, unfortunately. But we have a big problem here where people put their first foot forward, but their first foot is not always their best foot. And sometimes it's like more of a personal agenda. For example, and this is going to seem controversial, y'all, but let's be honest. I don't trust reviewers. I don't really trust news outlets, even Metacritic. Like, I take things with such grains of salt. You know why? Yeah, you guys remember Hogwarts Legacy? The Wired, which is a website outlet, a news outlet who covers all things gaming related and culture, stuff like that. And the culture, right? Music, whatever. But mostly I think gaming culture. They gave that game a 1 out of 10. A 1 out of 10. And look, I highlighted why, y'all. Wired gave Hogwarts Legacy a 1 out of 10 because they focused on politics over gameplay. The gameplay was so fantastic. After getting through the game and beating the game, my issues were, I wish we had an independent story. I wish we had a character, not only that we created, but a character that had like a personality that would be more like suitable for a single player experience story, and with cutscenes and everything. Like, I want an RPG experience with an actual story. And I think they're working on the next one now. I'm not too sure, but that game was so beautiful. That was some of the best adaptations of just a Hogwarts that we've ever had. And I need to replay some of the Harry Potter games, because I actually only played like one of them or two of them. But man, that was one of the best Hogwarts like related pieces of content that I've ever experienced. This person said, the reviewer, well, as I highlighted here, I wrote the reviewer awarded the lowest possible score due to their personal and political objections of J.K. Rowling's views on transgender issues rather than evaluating the game itself. So of course I understand where the LGBT community, LGBTQ, forgive me, the community was where they were at with the discrepancy with J.K. Rowling and her comments, which we're not going to get into that, man. But I understand that, but she had nothing to do with Hogwarts Legacy. In fact, Hogwarts Legacy had several characters who were part of the LGBTQ community. It was unrelated to anything with her. So it was just a weird stance. It was so bad they didn't even want to put this game up in the Game Awards. Like, this game did nothing wrong. The developers have no relationship with her. They were making a Hogwarts game, and it was one of the best-selling games that year. Was rated 9s over the board of almost every news outlet, even IGN. So you can see the unfairness. Review scores just ain't shit to me. They also said, basically from what I wrote, the lack of actual critique. People can see right through the criticism. They weren't criticizing anything about the game. It felt very personal. It felt like they were like on eggshells with the whole project itself. They didn't really put in no hours into the game. It seemed more like an agenda that they were attaching themselves to. They were leeching off of this product to just spew out their anger towards an individual who had nothing to do with the product itself, as well as the backlash. The game had intense outrage. People were basically like threatening a lot of people. I remember somebody told me, Rick, you're not going to play that game, right? And I'm like, yes, I am. Why? What happened? Like, what does this have to do with this? If this person was canceled, they would have got canceled back in 2005 or 2010 or 12. They even opened up, like, I think Universal Studios even opened up that world. So what? Like, it's just a weird thing, you know? So people have their gripes about certain stuff, but like, they want everybody to stand on it and they give their personal takes. And this is what happens. And you review a game of 1 out of 10. Another reason why you should not listen to no outlet when GTA 6 comes out, because there's another great game that I actually never truly like understood and I never beat. I have both of them. And when I see like my friends play it, I'm like, y'all, you know, let's do like game night with the homies. I'll play that game. Y'all watch my stream on Discord and y'all help guide me through it, because when I played the second one, I was like, man, this is actually getting fun. We're getting into things quickly. And that's Death Stranding by the legend Hideo Kojima. Like, he don't miss. You know what I'm saying? His brain is just, it's just structured differently, bro. And the fact that Giant Bomb, I think their name is Giant Bomb, I wrote it here, they gave that game a 2 out of 5 because they felt like it was just a mess overall. IGN gave it a 6.8 out of 10 because they said the game was not fun and they didn't understand what they were doing. They was calling it tedious. They said it was simply not fun to play, but yet the game won numerous Game of the Year awards from other outlets. And almost everyone else who played the game thought it was incredible. Even the memes and the jokes about it being like UPS Simulator, because the idea is that you have these packages with you and you're roaming around in this world to deliver these packages. There was a purpose, but you have different boss fights, different Easter eggs that you encounter. People had their gripes with it though, within the meme community, but this game was still regarded to be an amazing game. That's why they dropped the second one. Another one, I did a video on this several months ago. You guys wanted me to do a full walkthrough, and I may actually touch base on that and return to the game. But God Hand, that came out in 2006, IGN gave that a 3 out of 10. They claimed that the game was too difficult to play. They claimed the game was tank controls, tight cameras, and brutally difficult. But it's revered as an absolute classic that features some of the best, most complex 3D combat ever designed. I've never heard anybody in my comment section, and I don't want to act like I'm blind to people's opinions, but these are news outlets that can sway the opinions of so many. Please don't listen to nobody when they give a review on GTA 6. And I'm not saying if the game is asked, we'll all see it for ourselves, but you got to see the takes. These are the takes. These are the reasons. We're not talking about bugs, glitches. It's a rush story. We feel like we never got to learn the characters. The game was too difficult to play. Tank controls. Like that's what we're talking about, bro. This is what we're talking. This is where we at with it. We've been getting shit reviews since 2006. Look, when we get to that point, when it's that time of the year and you see some of the early reviews for GTA 6, please focus on whether or not it seems more like an emotional thing, a personal issue, or an actual issue that everybody would encounter. If it's a character, personality, there's a lack of depth, the game is too short, or there's too many bugs and glitches. Like when it's things like that, is so valid. But please do not sit here. When the time comes and GTA 6 is finally being reviewed, pay close attention to people with their feelings versus what's credible when it comes down to like character development, bugs, glitches, short story versus long story, games being dull versus somebody being just having their personal feelings intact. That's what happened with Hogwarts Legacy. And that's why that news outlet gave it a 1 out of 10. So please, that's ridiculous. And while The Wired gave Hogwarts Legacy a 1 out of 10, IGN gave other games a 3 out of 10, you have companies like IGN who also gave high review scores for games that clearly did not deserve that high of a review score. Excuse me. Listen, I'm a big fan of Halo, okay? I grew up playing some Halo. I love Halo. But Halo 5 Guardians is one of the worst cliffhanger games I've ever played. We got so excited. We met new characters in the game. We thought we were going to get like a little battle between, because you could see the tension that was rising between one side with Master Chief's side, and all of a sudden the game ends in the worst way possible, leaving us with a cliffhanger. We're thinking a couple years later we're going to get a sequel to that to follow up, and all of a sudden we get something Halo Infinite. It's a complete mess. It's incomplete. The story's an open world game now. It's just a complete mess. IGN gave that game, what is it? A 9 out of 10. A 9 out of 10. They also redesigned Halo 5. It didn't even feel like a Halo game anymore. It was like super fast, like not super fast paced, but it was already fast paced with the running. It had like the jumping with the running and aiming down sights. I thought I was playing a futuristic Call of Duty again. It did not feel like a Halo game at all. And they gave that game a 9 out of freaking 10. When the PS4 and the Xbox One came out, there was a game by the name of Evolve, which was like a 4v1. That was one of the first 4v1 games. You know, like you have the Friday the 13th and stuff like that, the Halloween coming out. This was like one of the first ones. And basically it had a Cool ass concept. I'm not gonna lie. You would play as this creature who would evolve into a much more stronger creature. You would have to kill him. That was the other online player. You would have to kill this monster before it gets huge. The microtransactions in that game was so forced. That game, a 9 out of 10. Let me read a little bit here. Destructoid gave it a 6 out of 10. Giant Bomb a 3 out of 5 and slammed it. It also holds much lower average Metacritic reviews, and it focused on super heavy repetitive gameplay loops and the egregious inclusion of over $130 in day one microtransactions, but later on had much more microtransactions added. IGN gave that a 9.0. Listen, I don't have to keep going. I'm letting you guys know this to just put out there that when GTA 6 comes out, man, just any fan out there who may not have the funds to buy right away, do not allow these reviewers to like stray you away from enjoying a product. Again, it's being positive towards GTA, but again, at the same time, when I see some valid critiques, I gotta sit there and like say like, yo, this is crazy. Like, I don't support that either. Like, that's bad. There's bugs, there's glitches, there's all this. And I already see it now. There's people who don't feel like we should be supporting PlayStation or supporting GTA 6 due to the digital market. And I'm like, but this market has always been like this. We don't have iPods no more for that reason. We just have Apple Music, and now either you have Apple Music on your computer or you have an iPhone for that reason. Or I think, if I'm not mistaken, on your Samsung, can you download the Apple Music app? I'm not even sure. With us, it's good. It's bad because we're living in a digital market that, God forbid, one day things happen, all this shit could get wiped. Hey, but look, I don't want to sound like I'm exaggerating. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below for this. This was ridiculous, and it's a pretty lengthy video. So I love you guys. I'm out. Peace.